Conservative voices continue to be silenced on college campuses across the country, and they are turning violent. Swimming champion Riley Gaines was ambushed at San Francisco State University yesterday while trying to speak on trans athletes in women's sports. Gaines had to barricade herself inside a room after activists not only screamed at her, but allegedly hit her multiple times. Watch.
Yeah, you I you. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Push it down. Push it down.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Tommy, you've had personal experience with this countless times.
I have, and unfortunately, this is the new method of the left and those who seek to shut down what is truly free speech. What they're doing is not free speech. Free speech is not attacking somebody, hitting somebody, shouting somebody down so that they're unsafe and unable to deliver their message. That's not free speech. What Riley went there to do and what other conservative speakers like myself go to do is actual free speech, and it's respectful of that First Amendment right. But this is the cancel culture taken to another level, because the left has realized this mob mentality where it used to just be trying to cancel somebody by calling them a name and getting them kicked out of a university or getting them canceled on a show. Now they've realized that doesn't really have the same impact anymore. Now they have to be violent. They have to make people fear for their life so that people take a second guess at what they want to go to a university at all. Because you know what? If you're going to be physically attacked and there's not enough law enforcement officers to protect you, you have to barricade yourself in a room. For me, my also personal situation, and I'm sure Riley felt the same, she barricaded herself in the room. They were protecting her, right? What about the students that came to hear her speak? What happened to them? This is the reality on college campuses, and until universities step up and have some real consequences for these people, it's going to get worse.
Why would you call?
I didn't say.
No, stop trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy. Wait, what? Did you call me sir again? What was that? You said goodnight, sir? This is transphobic harassment.
Oh
You're a bigot at work. All right, Alex, you know what? I can't wait to just... It's a slur. Do you not understand?
I never said sir.
It's like if you call the person of color the N-word. Don't
Sir.
You did on the way out. I don't care.
But I never.
I have the right to be pissed about it.
I never said sir.
You did.
I said I'll lock the door.
You did, you liar. Cis people need to be held accountable for how they treat trans people. And I'm not going to put up with this anymore.
You're crazy, bro.
Don't call me bro. Stop throwing slurs at me, you piece of
Good night, sis.
No, you. I ain't your sis. I ain't your bro. You don't even know me. Don't call me sir. This is transphobia. Right here at the topic. Yeah, you know, you heard blasphemy.
Mayor Gondek and her progressive allies on council have since brought in a new bylaw which restricts protests against drag queen story hours, what the law calls specified protests. Violators can face up to a year in jail and a $10,000 fine, a law that is surely unconstitutional, but still one the provincial socialist NDP in Ontario want to replicate there.
But what concerns me is when well-meaning adults, believe that they're helping people by making it easier some permanent change in the body from which there is no going back. For example, Brown University, one of the elite Ivy League schools in the United States, put sex reassignment surgery on its student insurance program. Okay, so that it becomes they can get a sex change in college.
And you end up with scandals like the Tavistock Clinic here in London, in the UK, where they were basically mutilating children, young, kids, teenagers, mutilating their bodies irrevocably. And then it turned out, after it closed, after a scandalous report came out, that 97% of all the patients had other conditions, from autism to depression to other issues, which may have been affecting their ability to think straight about what they wanted to be. And that was, to me, as a father of 4 kids, utterly horrific, just horrific. This was going on, and anyone who tried to raise concerns about this, and journalists did, were immediately branded transphobic.
A cosmic prank, or is this someone suffering from mental illness? And if it's the latter, he needs treatment as soon as possible. Anyways, I can tell you that more than 16,000 of you have signed our petition protect the students. Protect the students.
Do you believe in free speech on this? Do you think you have the right to disagree with this on the campus? Do you think that people will attack you if you disagree with it?
Well, I've just said that your cameraman was getting attacked, so I might get attacked as well.
They were so hostile that a trans woman who happens to be conservative and was there to protest both sides, she's not happy with either side, well, she told me she did not feel safe standing with the trans activists.
Well, actually, I came here to initially protest both sides, but I have to say the hospitality from some of the feminists, etc., behind me right now, it's been quite cordial, and I wasn't really expecting that.
Why do you think they're getting that kind of representation? I mean, it's clearly was aggressive, violent assault.
You suck. You suck. Fuck
No, this
you.
is the second assault.
Fuck you. You're not wanted. Fuck you. You're
This is
a
the second
fucking
one.
idiot. You're a fucking
I don't know what to say. I
Fuck
guess
you.
these police
Fuck
officers are
you,
mostly
you
indoctrinated
hate
as well.
everyone here,
They're afraid of the mob.
Because you're a
I
fucking
think
idiot.
I think they're
Fuck you.
afraid that if
Fuck
they do
you.
anything to
Fuck
actually
you. Fuck
keep
you.
law and order,
Fuck you.
that
Fuck you.
they'll end
Fuck
up
you.
being
Fuck
on the
you.
end of this verbal
Fuck
abuse.
you. Fuck you.
So it's just cowardice from everybody all around.
Fuck you.
People probably want to know, how do you keep your composure?
Fuck you.
What's up?
How do you keep your composure?
Fuck you. 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 Fuck you.
The proposed legislation does two things, and I will go through them. Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI+ community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully.
The problem is that you have to either conform to what exactly they're saying, or you have to be on the other side, and you can't find any middle ground whatsoever.
You're gonna give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here. And you want
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was in general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
I need your corporate number because I'm going to call them and talk about how I was misgendered several times in this store.
I apologize for that.
I need your corporate number now. Get it for me now.
I'm going to ask you to calm down and stop cussing.
Give me your
Stop
corporate
hitting
number.
Fish Run property.
Well, I'm going to ask you for the 5th time to stop calling me a man because quite clearly I am not.
And I apologize. I'm sorry for that, ma'am. I will get you that number. Is that okay?
Yes,
I'm
get it
just
for me
asking-
now.
I'm asking you to stop
Get it
cussing.
for me now. I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing.
Okay.
Give me the damn number now, please. Ooh!
Ma'am, I apologize.
Ooh!
I apologize, ma'am. I will get you that number right now.
No, you're just going to keep bumping your gums. You're just going to keep bumping your gums and disrespecting trans people in this store, which I plan on telling the entire LGBTQ community. You're going to lose money over this.
We are expected to reorganize our entire civilization around it. Just listen to this.
I'm transgender.
You know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
So gender is a social thing. It only
I don't want
makes
to hear
sense
that. What
in
is a
social-
woman? What
No.
is a woman?
What is a woman?
The word woman, define in the dictionary. Go.
A woman is somebody who is included and respected and seen and participates in society, recognized by other women. If you speak with women, I am honestly hesitant. I know that you touched earlier about the difficulty that transgender women might have in describing their identity, but I want to state, I honestly don't feel that you would engage in this conversation in good faith.
I would just like to say that as sympathetic as I am to the trans and LGBTQ plus community's goals, I'm also very disappointed to just hear my race, my own skin color, be attacked.
Give a fuck about a nasty bitch. We don't give a fuck about a nigga. Nasty bitch, call it bitch trigger. Fuck that hoe. Fuck that hoe. Fuck that hoe.
You know, that male rapist was allowed to go into a female prison in Scotland. There's a genuine danger around allowing men into women's spaces, like women's shelters and things like that, and they can be there just by identifying as a woman and then identifying as a tree the next day. It's
Right, so
genuinely
Angelica,
dangerous.
do you understand that part of the argument?
I understand that kind of the argument, but I mean, like Tommy said, I don't think this is confusing for children. I think it's giving you freedom of expression and freedom of choice.
How many girls did you know? Like my wife was a bit of a tomboy when she was young, right? How many kids do you know, young girls in particular, who are tomboys? But if the wrong person gets hold of them and persuades them, actually, what you should start doing is mutilating your body and have a full attempt to become a boy, that's not what most tomboys end up wanting. They end up actually going through puberty, getting older, and then that's it. They become women. Right? But if you get hold of these impressionable young minds too early, when they're just clowning around being tomboys, that's the danger to me.
I don't think the messaging is as extreme as you think it is, and I think we
Tavistock Clinic was pretty extreme.
I think we whip ourselves into a frenzy thinking these things, and this language that you mentioned at the start of the show, I don't think you hear that language used that often in like everyday speech.
Which language?
And I think what you were saying.
Oh no, these are on NHS websites. No, this is where you're wrong. This is actually NHS websites in many cases. They genuinely call women chest feeders, birthing partners. They dare not say anything gender specific to women in case some trans people don't like it. To which I say, where are the rights of women to be called what they want to be called? Why does all language have to be degendered for a tiny minority of people?
Judge today accepting Evie Amati was struggling as she transitioned from male to female.
Evie Amati doesn't remember walking into a 7-Eleven with a 2-kilogram axe, but her victims will never be able to forget.
The risk of death was high in each of the cases, and the fact that death did not occur was entirely a matter of good fortune.
Ben Rimmer says in that moment he feared he would never see his pregnant wife again or meet his son.
No one, like our politicians, right? The media didn't stand up with Christians, with the 6 people that were murdered at the Christian school, including 3 children. But they stood with the trans rights, who's a trans individual who did the shooting. It's sadistic in so many ways.
This is a group that has for years been committing acts of violence at rates much higher than you would expect across a cross-section of the population. To give a few examples, last year a trans girl tried to assassinate a justice, Brett Kavanaugh, at his home. Then a self-described non-binary shooter, also a member of the cult, murdered 5 people at a Colorado nightclub. In 2019, a trans teenager shot 9 people in a high school, killing 1. That was in Denver. In 2018, a mentally ill transgenderist shot up a Rite Aid distribution center in Aberdeen, Maryland. That massacre killed 4. So you can see where this is going, and you shouldn't be surprised by it. Mental illness leads to violence. This is a species of mental illness, and there's no mental illness greater than the delusion that you are God. Is accelerating. Police just arrested a man called William Whitworth. He's a transgenderist, uses the name of Lily, in the state of Colorado. Apparently he had a kill list and a manifesto. He was planning to attack 3 schools and churches, and apparently some talk show hosts too.
Say to anyone who wants to stop any sort of discrimination, not to yell at people based on their skin color, as just happened to me. Thank you very much.
So, would you like to give your opinion? I mean, we just had someone scream at us that I'm interviewing too many white people, too many white men.
White people, way too many cis men.
Why is that a problem?
I think you're going up to the straightest, cisest, whitest people you can find and trying to get their opinions on this.
I just came up to you for your opinion.
Now.